The difference between talent and work ethic. Talent is the present that God gives you on Christmas. And work ethic is when you actually unwrap it and do something with it. In my opinion, when the parents ask me whether or not, they tell me that the child has so much talent, the first thing I think is they value the wrong thing. They're not valuing the correct thing, and that is that they need to have a work ethic. I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, you can be the best opera singer in the world, but if you don't sing, then you suck. I mean, you think about that. I mean, look at, what's her name? The one on Britain's Got Talent, Susan Boyle. She came out, she had a ton of talent, but she had never sung. So basically, she had this wonderful talent till she was 50 years old but never sang. And when she finally did sing, she became a superstar. So it wasn't the talent that she had, because she always had the talent. It was when she actually unwrapped the package and used the package and really did something. Gymnasts need to be realistic. They need to understand what their real abilities are, and they have to understand they're going to fail. And they have to value failing and learn something from failing. If they're afraid to fail, then it'll never amount to anything, because you're going to fail at least 90% of the time in gymnastics. You're never going to get it right. And even when you do get it right, somebody's going to tell you got to do it better. And they're going to tell you that the skill isn't good enough, you need to do it higher. So that's just gymnastics. And if you can survive gymnastics, and you can survive the critical nature of the sport, and you can survive that, the ability to get over yourself and actually stop thinking that you're all that and actually do something with the sport, then you'll be a good gymnast. If you want to be a good gymnast, talent is not necessary. If you want to be a great gymnast, talent is not only necessary, you have to have it, and you have to have good work ethic, good values, parental support. You need to have the whole package, and you need to have a little luck as well. You're going to need everything. You're going to need friends to support you, family to support you, and you're going to need to get out of your head that every time it doesn't go your way, that it's time to walk out the door and go to somewhere else. It's time to give it up. It's time to do cheerleading. It's time to do this. That can't be an option. If you want to be good at things, you can't make an option to put on your parachute and jump out of the plane every time it doesn't go your way. You've got to stand, face it. You got to see it. You got to do it. You just can't give up every single time it doesn't go your way. Throw a temper tantrum, wet your pants, or your leotard in this case. You have to stick with something in order to get good at it. That takes work ethic. That takes you really concentrating on what you're doing and not giving yourself different paths every single solitary time it doesn't work out. And parents don't teach this. Coaches don't teach this. Kids don't get it. And when I used to coach gymnastics and I was tough with kids, they didn't like it. And the kids that didn't like it, you can have a mediocre coach to make a really, really good gymnast. You cannot have a mediocre gymnast to have a really good gymnast. Any coach out there can be a mediocre coach and coach a kid all the way to the Olympics. I've seen it happen. You can have a tiny, little, stinky gym and a coach that doesn't know very much, but if you've got a talented kid that really wants to be there, parental support, the coach can learn. The coach can tap into video resources. They can tap into other coaches. They can tap into a vast ability to network with other people to learn what you need to. You've got YouTube, you've got tons of stuff where coaches can tap in and learn the skills. That's what I did. I wasn't very good. I wasn't very talented at coaching, but I wanted to do it. I wanted my kids to be good, and I wanted to win. And when you want to win and you won't accept mediocrity, you won't accept, just doing it halfway, and you don't look at every single time it doesn't go your way, I'm going to run. When you really put your time and effort into something, you can be successful at it. That's more important than the talent, but you can't do it without the talent. And so oftentimes, what God's irony is He gives you a kid that's talented that's a knucklehead. They don't have the two things go together. Or you'll have this 6-foot tall gymnast who really wants to be a gymnast, and you have to say, no way, it's not going to happen. So they get good, but they don't get great. You need to have the combination of both, and it's a rare ability. It's not something that happens every day. And those parents that come in and say, I want my kid to go to the Olympics, that's great, but I need to hear that from the child, and only 1% of those kids are going to go to the Olympics. So what do we do with the rest of them? What do we do with all the other kids that come? We give them a really good education in gymnastics. We build their self-esteem. We make them physically fit. We develop their muscle. We keep them out of trouble. They don't have time for drugs. They don't have time for alcohol. They don't have time for sex. They don't have time for all that. They're going to learn a work ethic. And in the long run, that work ethic is going to teach them more about life than the talent that they had to be a great gymnast. The trophies, the medals, they don't mean anything. What means something is to be able to take that non-tangible item inside of you and apply it to your job, apply it to your family, apply it to being a good husband or a good wife. That's what we can teach. Because if you can survive it, if you can even become a mediocre gymnast, you can probably become pretty successful at other things.